Is your source reliable? General Fu got into trouble? Of course it's reliable. General Fu was seriously injured. He's been out of contact for 7 days. The Emperor already knows. That's why he's been avoiding the Imperial Noble Consort all this time. Brothers in trouble? I heard that, and panic hit me immediately. I rushed forward trying to find out more. But my foot caught on something, and I tripped off the stone steps, the back of my head slamming right into a flower pot by the side of the path. Everything went black and I passed out. What happened? How did the Imperial Noble Consort just fall like that? Through the haze, I could hear Si Jincheng furiously laying into someone. Cherry immediately dropped to her knees, kowtowing over and over. This servant deserves to die for deceiving your majesty. I failed to protect her highness. Please forgive me. Her highness was feeling cooped up and wanted to take a walk in the royal garden. She spotted a butterfly and accidentally fell down the stone steps while chasing it. Hearing Cherry say that, something felt off to me. I just couldn't put my finger on exactly what. The back of my head was killing me. I reached up to rub it. Si Jincheng saw me wake up and rushed over to help me up. Lenning, how could you be so careless? Seeing Si Jincheng and remembering what I'd heard about my brother right before I fell, I just broke down crying. Why are you crying? Did you hurt something? Quick, go get the Imperial physician. Si Jincheng thought I was in serious pain. That's why I kept crying and calling for my brother. Lenning, are you homesick? I'll take you home tomorrow. Si Jincheng patiently coaxed me like a little kid. Imperial physician, please give her highness a thorough check. Make sure nothing else is hurt. The Imperial physician was pretty shaken seeing me cry that hard. He quickly came over to check my pulse. Congratulations, your majesty. Congratulations, your highness. Congrats for what? Lenning's hurt. What's there to congratulate? Her highness is 2 months pregnant. I stared at the Imperial physician, completely stunned. Si Jincheng froze for a second, then burst out laughing. Lenning, did you hear that? We're having a baby! Si Jincheng was grinning ear to ear. I hadn't even processed it yet. I glanced over at Cherry, and caught this strange look flash across her face when she heard the news. I looked at the other attendants around me. None of them were as hyped as Si Jincheng, but they all looked genuinely happy. So why was Cherry the only one who looked different? That was the first time I ever felt frustrated about not being smart enough to figure things out. Good news for His Majesty! Good news for His Majesty! Little Xiazi came rushing in. He handed the Emperor a war report from the front lines. The Deputy General won the battle. The Northwest is secured. Si Jincheng skimmed through the report in seconds. Yes! 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 Lenning! You really are my lucky charm. Si Jincheng handed me the report, then remembered I couldn't read. So he read it out loud for me. The Northwest was pacified and General Fu was on his way back to the capital. But I still remembered what I'd heard in the royal garden. Wasn't my brother's life hanging by a thread? I picked up the report and suddenly realized I could actually make out some of the characters. Back home, my brother had tried to teach me to read and write, but no matter what, I just couldn't retain it. But now, looking at this report, the handwriting was unmistakably my brother's. Brother was fine. So then why did I hear those things in the royal garden? The more I thought about it, the more my head throbbed. I absent-mindedly scratched my head and accidentally grazed the wound. Yikes, that stung. Wait, am I actually starting to use my brain? Lenning. Brother Jin really loves you so much. Ever since I got pregnant, Si Jincheng spent every free moment with me. And because he was always with me, the other consorts started getting neglected. Every time I went to pay my respects to the Empress, I'd catch some of the consorts throwing shade. Lenning, you haven't seemed very happy lately. Are you not feeling well? Si Jincheng saw my face and asked with concern. It's not my body that's off, it's my head. Ever since I hit my head that time, I felt like I was thinking more. But thinking more just made me unhappy. Before, I'd go pay respects to the Empress, finish my tea, and leave. Didn't understand a word they said anyway. Now that I understood some of it, all it did was stress me out. And on top of that, I was starting to feel like something was off with Cherry. But I wasn't smart enough yet to figure it out. Your Majesty, peonies represent the Empress, right? There had been rumors going around the palace that I was disrespectful to the Empress and acting all high and mighty. I knew I wasn't good with words, so I rarely even talked to the Empress. So how did that turn into me disrespecting her? After racking my brain for 3 or 4 days, I finally figured it out. Every time I went to pay respects, the other consorts, including the Empress, all dressed in simple, understated outfits. And then there was me, head to toe in a bold red robe with gold phoenixes and embroidered peonies. My outfits, my makeup, Cherry prepared all of it. She'd been in the palace long enough, there was no way she didn't know the rules. I watched Si Jincheng give a little nod, then kept going. So does that mean I shouldn't be wearing bright red robes? And no peony embroidery either? Si Jincheng was trying not to laugh at my dead serious face and reached over to pinch my cheek. He smiled and said, "Wear whatever makes you happy. There's no should or shouldn't about it." Hearing that, I didn't think much more about it. I figured Si Jincheng had probably told Cherry the same thing, that as long as I liked it, I could wear whatever I wanted. But what I didn't realize was, the inner palace was way more dangerous than I ever imagined. Throughout my entire pregnancy, Si Jincheng was terrified something would happen to me. Every spare moment he had, he spent by my side. But even with all that caution, I still got targeted twice. Once at the mid-autumn banquet when someone poisoned my food. Thankfully, my appetite had been off the whole pregnancy, and the dose wasn't that high, so both me and the baby made it through. The second time was in my own chambers. I suddenly collapsed. The imperial physician diagnosed it as poisoning. But they searched the entire palace and couldn't find whatever had been used. Living on edge like that. Somehow, my baby was finally born safe and sound. The moment I heard that loud, healthy cry, I felt my whole body just let go. "Mama, let me see the baby." I managed to get the words out, barely, with what little voice I had left. But the midwife acted like she didn't even hear me. Instead, she took the baby over to Cherry first and let her take a look. It's a boy. The midwife said it quietly, just to Cherry. Cherry, I want to see the baby. My body was already wrecked from the birth. Before I could even finish the sentence, I blacked out. When I came to, it was already 3 days later. Where's the baby? First thing I said when I opened my eyes. Si Jincheng saw I was awake and immediately took the baby from the wet nurse and placed the baby in my arms. Laning, this is our baby. A beautiful little princess. A princess? When I heard Si Jincheng say that, I immediately opened the swaddle to check. Sure enough, a girl. But that couldn't be right. I clearly heard the midwife say it was a boy. How did it turn into a girl? I looked down at the baby girl in my arms, then looked up at Si Jincheng standing in front of me. I was absolutely sure I gave birth to a boy. So who swapped the baby? Where is my child and who's out to get me? Is it the Empress? Lady Yun? The midwife? Or someone else entirely? A million possibilities flooded my mind all at once. I'd never felt this exhausted in my entire life. Your Majesty, I'm so tired. I just need to rest a little longer. The concern on Si Jincheng's face looked way too real to be an act. I closed my eyes and started replaying everything since I entered the palace. I know who it is now. My lady, Xiaozia, the Emperor's attendant, just came with a message. His Majesty has court business tonight and won't be coming over. Yingtao brought in a bowl of blood-replenishing, nerve-calming soup. I scooped up a spoonful, blew on it, and held it out in front of Yingtao, signaling her to drink it. My lady, what are you? Yingtao could tell something was off. She got a little nervous and looked down. Don't worry, I didn't poison the soup. You guys aren't dumb enough to let me catch you like that. Her reaction was exactly what I expected. The daily soup itself wasn't poisoned. But combined with the Yiyun flower fragrance sitting on the table, the two together became a colorless, odorless poison. Legend has it the former dynasty's imperial court had a secret and deadly art of goo poison making. Am I wrong? When Yingtao heard that, she knew she couldn't hide it anymore. And somehow she stopped panicking. That immortal who came to save my father at the Prime Minister's estate back then, that was you guys too, wasn't it? This whole thing was a setup from the very beginning. That so-called immortal was actually there to plant a goo worm inside me. Because my birth chart is yin dominant, perfect for cultivating goo. So you figured it all out. Yingtao reached into her robe and pulled out a dagger, eyes cold as ice. The goo worm inside you has fully matured. Once we summon the Goo King, this entire kingdom will be ours. But right after she said that, she realized something was wrong. Someone under a goo curse gets their mind sealed off. They shouldn't be acting like this at all. You broke the curse. Yingtao stared into my eyes. The look on my face was nothing like before. The Empress confessed everything. Now should I keep calling you Yingtao? Or Princess Wenhe of the former dynasty? How did you break the curse? How is that even possible? Yingtao couldn't believe it. Refused to believe it. Because breaking this particular goo curse requires the heart's blood of their own clanspeople. Exactly what you're thinking. The heart's blood of your 99 clanspeople. I killed them all. You killed them all? When Yingtao heard that I'd wiped out the rest of her surviving clan, she completely snapped. We're not done yet. Your child is there to keep them company. Father had been quietly investigating the baby swap behind the scenes. He found that my child had been smuggled out of the palace and dumped straight into a mass grave. In the end, we were still too late. By the time father and my brother got there, the baby had already been dead for days. They kept pulling at the thread, and traced it back to the Empress's family plotting a rebellion. But a minister with no military power, how could he pull off a coup on his own? Dig deeper, and it led straight to the remnants of the former dynasty. I know. She's trying to get under my skin by throwing my dead child in my face. So I pulled out the handkerchief my father gave me. Inside was a severed finger, and a jade pendant stained with blood. Do you have any idea how much your brother suffered before he died? Do you? The blood-stained jade pendant and that severed finger, Yingtao couldn't stop shaking. Deep down she knew, not a single one of their clan had survived. Your brother still dreamed of becoming emperor. How pathetic. Both his hands and feet were cut off, yet he was still clutching that jade pendant. You! Yingtao pointed at me, trembling, and said in disbelief, You were playing dumb this whole time. I held back the tears that were about to burst out and said, word by word, I want every last one of your clan to be buried alongside my child. With that, I hurled the finger and the jade pendant straight at Yingtao's face. Si Jincheng's guards immediately stepped in and pinned her down. Yingtao was dragged away, screaming curses that wouldn't stop. I quietly closed my eyes and prayed, hoping my poor child could be reborn into a better life soon. Sunning, wake up! Sunning, wake up! Another nightmare. I opened my eyes, let out a long breath, and forced myself to calm down. After the Empress's faction and the remnants of the former dynasty were wiped out, I started having nightmares every single night. Luaning, another nightmare? Si Jincheng saw how pale I looked and pulled me close. It's all over now. It's all over. Brother, I miss father. Okay. We're heading to the Prime Minister's estate right now. It's a bit of a ride from the palace, and I dozed off on the way. Luaning, Si Jincheng held me close, gently patting me to sleep. Next life, I don't want to be emperor anymore. Let's just be an ordinary couple. Let's be together in every lifetime. I held out my pinky and shook it. Pinky promise. Deal. Pinky promise. No takebacks ever.